Hello and welcome to another episode of Moose's Gear Goo Review. I'm Moose, and today we have another knife review. And this one's kind of an unboxing. This is the Realsteel H9 Taken. Realsteel H9 Taken. Realsteel is a Chinese-based knife company. I don't know much about them. I want to do the unboxing because I was really impressed with, for that price, what you get in the box. So the box is very nice. It has Realsteel logos on the sides. It's kind of this silvery, I don't even know how to describe it, but it's a very nice box. And the presentation, once I got it, was really impressive. So we take off the lid. We have paperwork in a multitude of languages. And it isn't just some generic paperwork. It is specific to the knife itself, which I thought is really nice. It comes with a really nice microfiber polishing cloth that has the Realsteel logo pressed into it, which is like another really nice bonus. And then it came with this sheath. I suppose you can put it on your belt, or if it's just a stored sheath, that is fine too. But this is a folding pocket knife. So there's the box and the contents. I'll set that aside because right off the bat, that really impressed me for the price. Like I said, this was under 50 bucks when I got it, and it was a sale. So, but right now I think it's retailing for $50 US at the time of this video. So we take off the sheath and we pull out the knife. And I was extremely impressed with the fit and finish of this knife, especially knowing, no offense to China, that it's coming from China. It's a production blade. But yeah, everything is spot on in this knife. I've never had a knife with this much quality as far as like fit and finish. I've never had one. Usually every knife I have, there's something just a tiny bit out of place, but this thing, I'm telling you, there's no imperfections in it. So taking a look at the blade, boom, this is a full-size folder. It's a ridiculously large blade. So let's get into some specs and you can see what this knife is all about. The overall length is 9.6 inches, or yeah, 9.625 inches. The blade length alone is 4.37 inches. The handle length is 5.12 inches, and the overall weight is 6.34 ounces. So it's pretty heavy. But for the size and when you actually hold it in hand, it feels much lighter than what you'd expect. So they really got the balancing right on this knife as far as like where the handle grip is and for wielding it. I'm telling you, once you get this in your hand, it feels super light. The blade, so those are the specs. Overall, the blade is really cool. It's a really attractive Wharncliffe blade. You know, it drops down and then it drops more aggressively, and it comes to that point. It's fairly straight on the bottom, but there's an ever so slight curve along the length of the blade. It is a stonewash finish, which looks really nice. We have the Realsteel logos there. And then on the back, we have the name of the knife, which is H9 Taken. And then the blade steel is a respectable 14C28N, a Sandvik blade steel. It says it's a hollow grind, but you know, it's a really shallow hollow grind if that's the case, because it more or less feels and looks like a flat ground blade. And then it has a thumb disc, but it's a kind of a stylized thumb disc. So on the underside, I don't know if my camera will be able to pick it up, but there's actual like pleating. So it's pleated to add some texture and grip, and it just gives it kind of that extra little kick of style, which looks really nice and I really like. Moving into the handle, it's a very large handle. obviously. So if you're a bigger dude or person, woman, whoever, that has large size hands, this might be the knife for you. I have a buddy who's 6'5" and he's a big dude, and this would probably fit his hand perfectly. I have bigger hands and it's very comfortable. The G10 is contoured to give it some curvature. And then it's also textured, but it's not textured in a typical kind of cloth texturing. It's more elongated, so it has these long grooves that follow the length of the handle. And it's just something a little different, but it still gives a substantial amount of grip. And it's just really comfortable. Like, as is, it's not going to slip out of my hand. Moving into the actual internal structures, it is has stainless steel liners. It has a liner lock inside there that does have some jimping that actually is pretty aggressive, so your thumb actually locks in there really well. Yeah, it's really nice. Locks in there perfectly. Close it up. I'll say this, that it's extra smooth when I'm deploying it. It looks like there's the bronze phosphorus bushings in there that just help this thing glide open. It's definitely one of the more smoother manual folders that I have. Very nice. The reason why it's so light, and I don't know if I'll be able to pick this up, but there is it's heavily milled out on the inside with huge cutouts into those liners. So that's part of the reason why such a large knife is actually so light, or at least feels so light. So I'm really impressed with the skeletonization of this knife, and I wish other knife companies would maybe skeletonize them a little bit more efficiently. But it works really well for this. Oh, just feels so nice. It almost feels like custom quality, just with how nicely done they did a job on this. It is one-way positionable pocket clip, so it's tip up, right carry only. So sorry lefties, this isn't the knife for you. There is a lanyard post or bar recessed into the profile of the handle, and yeah, just awesome knife. All the hardware is silver, and the pivot pin, the lanyard post, and the stop bar are all hidden behind the G10 scales, which is a really cool look, and it more or less streamlines the overall design of the knife. You don't get to see those other hardwares poking out and in random spots, so they really kept it uniform, and that's super awesome. So that being said, this, like I said, is for a larger person who has really big hands, doesn't mind carrying 6 ounces in pocket, or just wants a nice kind of showpiece, a talking piece. Or, you know, if you, maybe this would be really good for food prep or something. I'm sure people could use this in a manner of different ways. But for everyday EDC, for most people, at least personally me, I like to keep my EDCs around 3 inches, so this is just a little too big. But I did carry it for about a week, and it, you know, it was nice. It worked really well. So you just have to make sure you have big pockets. So comparing it to some other knives, we'll check out the sides. We have our Griptilian here. We have our PM2, because everybody knows what those two knives are. Some of my other larger folders are H&K Access, and we have the Cold Steel Recon. So looking at these, obviously the PM2 and the Griptilian are about the same blade lengths, about 3.5 inches. The H&K Access and the Cold Steel Recon are about 3.25 inches, and you can see how the blade length actually goes much beyond that into the 4 and a half range almost. Handle length, obviously the H9 Realsteel has to accommodate the larger blade, so a larger handle, but it's not that much larger than a PM2 or the Code 4 handle. So quick compare. The only thing I compare this knife to is to an actual fixed blade knife. And this is the Benchmade Protagonist. As you can see, the blade lengths are about the same. Obviously, you don't need a larger handle to accommodate a larger blade because it doesn't fold. But just so you know, the Protagonist is about the same blade length. And then I have the BK, or the K-Bar Becker BK16, which is just over 4 inches. And even the blade is slightly longer than the BK16. I love this knife. This is my favorite fixed blade. Handle-wise, you know, once again, the handle is larger to accommodate the folding capabilities of that large handle. So, that being said, let's check out the thickness, as we always do. Blade stock is thicker on the Realsteel. Handle-wise, it's about the same. Ooh, bless me. PM2, same blade thickness about. Handle thickness is H9 is thicker. Similar to the Axis, but the H9 is thicker. And the Cold Steel blade stock looks about the same. Handle is much thinner on the Code 4. Blade stock is actually thicker on the H9 than the fixed blade, and the handle is much thicker as well. And blade stock is about the same thickness. The BK16 is probably just a hair thicker. So there you have it. So our last test of this review is the ugly brown glove test. Right off the bat, it does feel a little bit slicker with this ugly brown cloth glove, but the contours in the handle actually keep it fairly locked in. The jimping on the lock bar, or the liner lock, actually really helped bite my glove. So it's actually really easy to find that lock and disengage it. The jimping on the underside of the thumb disc actually helps again to catch traction with my glove, which I actually really like. So actually, as far as the locking mechanism and the opening mechanism, that actually works really well. I just say I wish there was more texturing on the handle for if you're using gloves. But I'd say this passes with about 75%. So nice job, pass. So there you have it, guys. This is the Realsteel H9, really nice knife. You can find it for under 50 bucks right now at the time of this video. So if you want to find something with this really nice fit and finish, like once again, I'm super impressed with the fit and finish on this. For under $50, plus the presentation with the sheath and the polishing cloth and everything, like I was really impressed. And from my experience with this, I want to get another Realsteel. So definitely check them out. Check out my other videos. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you outside.